Bristol City fans are pleading with Norwich not to sack Liam Manning before the 18th of October. Thank you very much from all Bristol City fans. Welcome back. We're talking about what is going wrong at Carrow Road. 4 games at home, 4 defeats, 10 conceded. Just an absolute nightmare. Pelle Mattson made his debut. How well did he do? Jack Stacey's 100 up. And we're asking, if they can find the answer to it, which player deserves a lot more credit than they're currently getting. We've got Killian, Matty, and Tom back with us for it's going to be a very interesting 15-minute, 20-minute discussion on what's going wrong at Carrow Road. Killian, I have to apologise. We put out a tweet before the game saying Norwich had never lost to Wrexham in the league. I
It's your fault, Mark.
slightly responsible, but yeah, I mean, Norwich fans were saying, Killian, even though you were 1-0 up at half time, you scarcely deserved to be. Is that right?
I don't know. I don't think Wrexham were particularly good in the first half. No, we weren't particularly good either. But to me, they looked like a very average team, and obviously completely transformed in the second half.
Yeah, it's fair to say there's some anger on the terraces now, isn't it? This has gone past just, it's the first, you can lose to Millwall, it happens, you might lose, but there's something wrong here now, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Matt says, angry and frustrated, Manning said, but he really looks, should have seen my reaction at the final whistle. That was angry and frustrated. There's no passion or personality with this guy. No wonder the team comes out half asleep after a Manning half-time team talk. And Matty, there's a few saying they're not getting the vibe from this manager.
It's a funny one, actually, because I don't want to turn on the manager. It's far too early for that. But I did see a video on Instagram. I think it was maybe during pre-season or very early into the season. I know we're still early into the season, aren't we? But and he just doesn't look like he has much charisma. He doesn't look like a leader, or he doesn't look like someone who's going to really inspire players to run through a brick wall. So yeah, it is concerning that home record is already becoming a little bit of an issue. I genuinely think we're set up wrong at home. I think the way that we play away and the results we've got away have been from better performances because we've been set up to play. Yesterday we had a hell of a lot of the ball, but we didn't do a great deal with it. And I think that's partly to do with the shape. Whereas when we're away, we can maybe soak up a bit of pressure and sort of catch teams on the break. But yesterday against a team who were never going to come and dominate the ball, we just really annoying, frustrating.
I mean, Bristol City fans, Tom, will point out that none of the Bristol City players thanked Liam Manning when he left, which is strange, really. I mean, you'd have thought that they'd got into playoffs. They've said that tells a thing. And Clary says Jack Wilshere spoke with enthusiasm. Manning drones. This is not we want Manning out, by the way. We're very clear on that. But Tom, does he need to show a bit more? Like fight? Like he cares in interviews?
Yes, and no. I mean, there was something he said, and Matty mentioned it, but during pre-season he said about managing his own emotions, and there was a particular quote. He said, I could rant and rave on the touchline, but I need to manage my own emotions. But I think he could show us a bit more. Equally, we are so early on in the season. I'm not going to sort of put my head above the parapet and say that it's ridiculous, but we're still so early on. And I said to the guys just before we came on, is if these results were reversed and we'd lost 3 away from home and won 2 and drawn 1 at home, would the reaction be as cynical and as severe as it is? I don't know, but I think it's a concern, it's a worry. But I think comparing him to the likes of Jack Wilshere, who managed two senior professional games and at the end of a season against a relegated side, and the other one was a 0-0 draw, I think is pretty is a pretty harsh comparison, if you ask me.
Okay, I mean, let's be fair. You have played Middlesbrough, which we've seen Killian what they're doing at the moment. The first game of the season, Millwall could go either way, but were Wrexham that good?
No, I don't think they were. We definitely didn't show up for whatever reason yesterday. And it was interesting that Manning publicly had a go at his players. and it'll be interesting to see the reaction to that. Is there either a very clever move that'll really spark them into life, or else it could go the other way for him. But maybe he doesn't show a lot of passion on the sideline, but he was pretty angry yesterday and was publicly scathing of the team.
Yeah.
And there needs to be a reaction as well, doesn't there? Sorry, Mike. There needs to be a reaction as well. Obviously, our next 3 games against teams that would fancy themselves for the top 6, and we come away from those without any wins. Obviously, then maybe I'm looking at it through a different lens. But yeah, there needs to be a reaction.
Yeah. Okay.
But we're still. I mean, I know it's early days, but we're still only 3 points off Coventry, who are in 6th. So it's it hasn't been a great start, but it's a league that nobody's, apart from a good run from Middlesbrough, nobody's really taken it by the scruff compared to other years.
They'll drop off soon enough as well.
But the likes of the likes of Watford, they're down there. They'd want to be up there. Blackburn will want to be up there. Southampton will want to be up there. They're all currently below us, and obviously those down the road are currently below us as well. So it's not been a lightning start by any stretch. But equally, I think there was a tweet you put out, Mark, on the main feed about no team really sort of taking it by the scruff of the neck so far this season, apart from Middlesbrough, really.
Yeah. Okay. But let's talk about some players then, shall we, that people think need to be held a bit more responsible. Matty Joe says first 2 goals were Sunday League defending. We were lucky to even be in front at half time in the first place. These home performances can't continue. We need to drop Cernic. Yeah, and start McCummer next game. I can't, Matty, get into another Cernic debate with you. Feels like winding the clock back. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think. I think that's an insult to Sunday League defending, to be honest with you, and foremost. But I like Cernic. I think he's still a young player, isn't he? That's got a lot of learning to do. I don't think he's the problem yesterday, to be honest. I think Cordova was horrific. Whether he was playing at left back or left centre back, or I don't think he knew where he was playing, to be honest. So I think there's problems in that sort of left back or left wing back position. Again, the shape. I don't think the shape actually suits someone like Cernic, to be honest with you, because but I think in terms of players, like, maybe it's a bit early to dig a young player like him out. I know Cordova's not that much older, but he certainly wasn't the worst player on the pitch yesterday. Not in my opinion, but I know he has come in for a lot of stick.
Okay. Tom, who's at fault for you?
I don't know if it's so much of the individual players, but more, as Matty said, around the system in terms of how we set up. It's slow and laboured. Do you know what I mean? I think there's not an awful lot of spark in there, and I think yes, I think we're probably just about to get past the point now where you can say they're still gelling and there's a new squad and all the rest of it, because I think that excuse is starting to wear thin, especially given how many players Wrexham bought in this summer, and they seem to be quite gelled. For me, I said to Matty yesterday, I don't think Cordoba's had a good game in a Norwich shirt. I can't recall sort of solid string of performances from him, and we have got to sort out this left back problem. I think the goals that we're conceding are all coming from the flanks. So Manning's got to look at how we've set up, whether it's a 3, a 5, or 4. If that's where we're conceding goals, surely if we can see it, they can see it and need to do something about it.
Okay. Let's stay on the positives then, shall we? Killian, Pelle Mattson made his debut. Adam says he made a good debut, not an easy lead to come into, but I thought he handled everything superbly, and the stats seem to support the eye test. What was your impression, of your new number 7?
Yeah, I was generally quite impressed with him. He went in for a lot of tackles and won a lot of balls he probably shouldn't have won, which was good to see. I'd say obviously it'll take him a bit of adjustment to the league. Did get pushed around a little bit, so he's not the biggest player in the world, but I think he'll adjust quickly. So I was impressed with him.
Okay, Matty?
Yeah, it looks solid. That tweet's quite accurate, really, isn't it? It's not it's not a great. Sorry, it's not an easy game to start in a difficult league for a young player, but it's obviously very highly rated. I think he's highly rated for a reason. So he showed a lot of fight yesterday, which is something that can't be said for everyone. And to Killian's point about coming out of 50-50s with the ball when he maybe shouldn't have done. So yeah, if he continues like that, then fantastic. I think there's you're always going to be up for on your debut, aren't you? So let's kind of see how the land lies after 5 or 10 games. I don't know how I feel about our central midfielder wearing number 7, but that's by the by. He looks good. He can wear number 7 if he keeps playing like that for me, though.
Okay.
Right back wears 3, Matty. We're never going to win that argument.
I know that stresses me out. Speaking of number 3.
Yeah.
Oh, what
here we go.
What a seamless transition, Mark. You planned that one.
As almost, Let's talk about then, Jack Stacey, shall we? 100 appearances, Tom. 100 up. Yes. Your favourite Jack Stacey moment?
Well, the song that took off before the Leicester game last year.
The song, The Jack Stacey's like, you know what? He is most of the time, and I'll say most of the time, Mr. Consistent. And he is, he shows for me, where every time he sort of, falls out of favour and Callum Fisher comes in and what have you, he just seems to, when he gets his place back in the side, he seems to get it and grasp it, and seems to be the one that, grabs it by the scruff of the neck. And 100 appearances, that's quite quick. I don't think he's been here that long. And I think when we signed him, it was a sort of a sit up moment of, blimey, he's got good pedigree and he's got a good career behind him. So I think again, if everybody could raise it a few notches and he takes the lead on that, then I think hopefully he won't be far off. But it's good to see him chip in with a goal yesterday, although his celebration probably leaves a little bit to be desired.
Killian?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely tries very hard. No question about it. I think he's really good going forward. And he does frighten. He's pacey and he does frighten defenders. I was chatting to him yesterday before the game, and he was clearly recovered from his head injury, and he was really up for it. And he's a genuinely nice fella. So,
okay. Right. Speaking about nice people, or not so nice, next week on here we will be previewing, the East Anglian derby. So we'll be joined by a tractor boy or a couple of tractor boys. So join us for that. I hope you'll be very nice and polite, like you always are, you three. As we look ahead, of course, after the West Brom and Stoke games too. The derby. How many years is it now that they've not been here?
16.
Okay.
I'm not sure how long that'll be 16 for, to be honest.
I don't think it'll be 16 minutes without conceding a goal, let alone 16 years.
Okay. They're going. It could be.
They're not playing well either, are they? Let's have it right. Okay, let's talk about embarrassing tifos for a second as well. We've got to get this out of the way with. Tom, what the hell was this?
It's a honker. It's an absolute honker. I think the fact that Wrexham have then posted a picture of Hugh Jackman in a Wrexham cap is just an absolute nightmare. I get it. He's got Norwich links and the whole Wolverine versus Deadpool thing, and on the outside, it probably looked like a good idea, and someone in marketing's probably sat in the ground going, "Yeah, this is a great idea," and then in reality, it's an absolute honker.
It's
to say the least,
a little embarrassing. Sorry.
It's more than a little embarrassing, Mark. It's a shower of shit, is what it is.
I'm glad you said it like that. Yeah, okay, brilliant. Right, Killian, then, looking forward to your trip to Stoke. Said no one at the weekend, yeah.
I am actually, yeah. I think Mark Robbins has struggled against us. So hopefully that won't change. Just you don't put any tweets out there, Mark.
I will say I'm saying nothing about this one. Stoke are trying to fill the ground, by the way. £12 a ticket for this game. They are offering to all their home fans. So, should be a good crowd there. Anyway, they're trying to get the fans back now. The good times are sort of rolling in. Matty, would you take a point here, or do you have to start moving up the table quickly?
I'm just going to be really bitter for a moment and say that if they still can't sell out or having to sell tickets for £12 in the second in the league and they started in the best best start to a championship season in years, and it's a little bit embarrassing, really, isn't it? Because I'm sure they were sold out every week in the Premier League. So yeah, that's.
But you're not going to be bitter.
Not at all, Tom. Anyway, moving on. I'm not looking forward to it, no, Mark. We drew there last time out. I have seen us win there a few times, but yeah, they've started well, and I don't know if they'll stay in that sort of. I don't think they'll stay where they are, but even in the top 6, I don't know if they will. But right now, it doesn't seem like a very good time to play them with our form. But then again, away from home, we haven't been appalling this season, so we'll see what happens.
Pretty decent, yeah. I think they've got one of the best goalkeepers in the league as well, personally. So, bro. Right, well, join us next week as we look back on Stoke. We've also got midweek fixtures coming back, Tom, as well next week. You had they got West Brom as well, so we'll look ahead to that. Dear, too much football, isn't it? Yeah. Finally, this week we're asking you which Norwich player needs more credit than which they're being given in forums and from people like us. Difficult question, I know, given some of the starts of the year. But Killian, who for you has caught the eye that we just needs a little bit more of a mention?
That's a good question. I mean, I think it's very subjective. I think every week I see somebody who maybe does something a little bit different. I still think, and he might not have had the greatest game yesterday, but I think Topic has some brilliant moments. Obviously Sarge gets all the limelight, or Vlad knows when your goalkeeper gets your man of the match after conceding 3 goals. That says a lot. Yeah. But I think Topic for me is slightly unsung.
I would go with Makama. Because actually, I think in his, sort of cameo appearances off the bench, he seems to, be a presence. He seems to want to take the game by the scruff of the neck and sort of drive us forward. And yeah, I think the earlier point about does he get a start? I think so. I think he's physical. He's clearly he clearly wants it. And maybe Cernach can make more impact from the bench this week if he comes on late. But yeah, Makama for me, I think deserves a start, deserves plaudits for his start with us.
Okay, Matty.
I'm not just basing it on this season. This one, I know we've mentioned it, but Jack Stacey actually, because he gets a bit of stick, and I know he's got a song and everyone loves the song, but in terms of a player that, and Tom touched on it, in terms of a player that always gives everything and fight and grit and determination, irrespective of whether he's on the bench and coming off the bench or whether he doesn't get a game at all. And then when he does start again, all right, he's only human, everyone makes mistakes, but in terms of his consistency, you're going to get like a 7 out of 10 from him. I think he's a fantastic player. I think overall, from a balance perspective, I actually think he's maybe better than Fisher, and he's certainly a hell of a lot more mature as well, which naturally comes of age. But I think he doesn't get enough credit.
Okay. 3 good shouts there. Thank you very much, all 3 of you. Let us know in the comments, please, down below, if we've missed any. Who would you give a shout out to? We'll read some of these out next week. Right, you lot, enjoy your trip to Stoke-on-Trent. We'll see you the other side of it. Fingers crossed with some more points on the board. And then join us next week as we preview the Old Farm Derby. Can't wait. See you then.